J. Cole is really good at rapping from other people's perspective.
Hey, yeah.
So J. Cole finally dropped The Fall Off last week. And just to sum up my overall thoughts on the album, just like as a brief review, it was cool. The beats were cool, the bars were cool, the flows were cool, the samples. I with the samples. Well, except for one of them. I'm not going to get into that. I will say I enjoyed disc 1 a lot more than I enjoyed disc 2. Real quick though, why the are we still dropping double albums in the digital era? And I know they still sell physical copies of albums, but you know what I mean? But none of that is what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is a standout track from disc 2 that I feel needs to be talked about a little bit more in depth. And it's without a doubt one of my favorite songs on the album overall. On the track What If, J. Cole raps from the perspectives of both Tupac and Biggie, who it's been 30 years. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all know the lore by now. But for those who don't know, and maybe the ones who know but they just want to hear me say it, Tupac and Biggie were both two rappers from the 90s that were both killed within 6 months of each other. Their deaths have always been cited as the turning point in the culture due to the fact that both rappers were on opposite sides of a highly publicized rap beef and were essentially figureheads of the whole East Coast West Coast rivalry. I've already covered the whole thing, so just head to my breakdowns playlist or my YouTube channel for all of that. So, as mentioned before, J. Cole is rapping from the perspective of both Tupac and Biggie as if they're communicating with each other, hashing out their issues on some grown man. I love the fact that he did that. The beauty of this song is the fact that it's not like he's rapping from some made-up perspective. In this song, he raps from both of their perspectives, loosely based on information that is already been put out there from them. And I say loosely because there are a few things in this song that are kind of wrong. Like, for example, Biggie saying from his perspective that,
I hope it ain't too late to tell you when you got shot. I came to visit you at Bellevue, but you were sleeping. They let me peeking. I said a prayer by your bedside. Bandages covered the bleeding.
When it's public knowledge that Biggie wasn't even allowed entry into Tupac's hospital room.
Waiting in the waiting room. Biggie came in by himself.
Biggie had came to the hospital, but they wouldn't let him in. Pac ain't want to see him because they, you know, the word was out Biggie had something to do with it.
And at first, I felt the part where he's like,
heard that record that you did that just dropped. This bubbling got me wondering when the love stopped. Hit him up, I'm like, maybe I should write you before go left. The streets is a bit upset. You claiming that you but check instead of escalating at a time with say big, let's decimate him. I'm telling him chill, cause although he violating in my heart, I could never hate him.
I thought that was a bit of a stretch because that's not what happened. Again, I've already talked about this in the past.
And the winner is not that thinner kid, bandanas, tattoos, my fists never bruised. If they have twins, she probably have two pops.
Get it?
Two
time to separate
pops.
the.
First, they tough. Then something happened to them. They turn to God. Then, when everything's cool, they tough again. I don't understand it. It gets real confusing to me. And if I hear one more rapper talk about Versace,
but then I remembered that this song is supposed to be set in an alternate reality. A reality where Biggie doesn't make songs like The Ugliest or Brooklyn's Finest, or he doesn't throw subs at Pac in interviews. A reality where Big decided to pick up a pen and write a letter to Tupac to clear the air. Then in verse 2, when he's rapping from Tupac's perspective, verse 2, Tupac. Oh, I see what he did there. He sprinkled in sentiments that Pac himself had already expressed.
Felt that you left me to hang. I gave you game. Rap for the I said. Saw you switch up your lane. Your content resembling mine. It brought you fame. I didn't complain. I cheered you on with no disdain. How shouting me out, but never visit me. And as the time crept, that mindset became a mission. You came to represent my opposition. So when I got out, I chose drama. Took the war route and went all out. Not care about the fallout. Suddenly now I got the mob out.
For years, the narrative surrounding Pac's issues with Big has always been steeped in misunderstanding. Everything from, oh, Suge was pushing Pac to instigate beef, to Tupac was lying on Biggie's name. All of it was in complete ignorance to everything Pac had ever said about it. Pac has expressed that he felt that Big was disloyal.
Half the rappers from the East Coast was there when I got shot. Nobody knew a thing. Give me my proper etiquette. If Biggie was out here on the West Coast, he was in the studio with me and we homeboys, and he got shot, I wouldn't go ride on niggas who did it, but he wanted to know who did it. So I got shot. I'm like, yo, what happened? Come see me in jail. Biggie all in the air to my yeah, Pac is my homeboy wound, but not seeing me.
And he felt that Big was ungrateful.
I trained the nigga, he used to be under me like my lieutenant. The nigga, I used to come to New York, I used to do shows and let the nigga come on before I did Keep Your Head Up and Get Around. And I used to tell the nigga, yo, if you want to make your money, you gotta rap for the bitches. Do not rap for the niggas. I told the nigga, don't rap for the niggas. Rap for the bitches. The bitches will buy your records and the niggas want what the bitches want. Listen to Party and Bullshit. Listen to his style. He changed from that to Big Papa. Because of me. He had my album, Me Against the World was the second one. He had the first one. I changed everything because Ready to Die came out and it sounded like my album. All my album was about, you know, dealing with death. And then he came out Ready to Die and I had to switch it.
And he felt that Big owed him more than to just bury his head in the sand about everything that happened at Quad.
About a week before I got shot, he knew the nigga that was shot me and he was like, Pop, don't hang around this nigga, you know me, you know. We walked in with the nigga that shot me that ended up shooting me. He's like, Pop, don't fuck with this nigga, because I knew the nigga too, he was my co-defendant. And I was like, what you mean? He's like, I'll talk to you about it later. And we didn't talk. The next time I saw him was at the studio where I got shot. So I knew he knew what happened. So I was like, Biggie, what happened? He kept sending me messages like a bitch, you know, like I'm gonna come see you. No, nigga, what happened?
And Cole does a really good job in this verse at conveying Pac's perspective in its proper context. And because he's a fan of both of these guys and he knows the context, he's able to respectfully rap from both of their perspectives. Man, listen to For Your Eyes Only. J. Cole is really good at rapping from other people's perspective. And I'm sorry, folks on the internet trying to take a shit on this song and acting like this is like the corniest or most disrespectful thing he's ever done is throwing me. Kendrick rapped from Nipsey's perspective on the Heart Part 5, all even digitally imposing Nipsey's face on his body, and people were like, oh, this is genius. And the sentiment that, oh, because Kendrick and Cole and Drake keep invoking Pac and Big's name, Pac and Big must be tired of these mans. Like, okay, we grew up in an era where majority of rappers at that time were either name dropping, paying homage to, or downright emulating Tupac and Biggie, but it's these three mans that Pac and Biggie are sick of. All right, man. But I digress. It's probably just fun and games, and I'm just taking it a little too seriously. Cole used the story of Tupac and Biggie to relay a poignant message on this song that I feel like a lot of people need to take heed. Kind of almost like the same message that Kendrick was trying to convey on Heart Part 6, but the only difference is J. Cole went the extra mile to paint a picture of reality where two men who used to be friends and had a famous falling out decided to hash out their differences and mend fences, because in this reality, that unfortunately and famously didn't happen. Cole himself has a song called Pride is the Devil, and that statement couldn't be any more true, especially where men are concerned. Tupac and Biggie are perfect examples of how at the highest point of your career, pride and ego can lead to a massive fall. If you really look at the full scope of it, them not being able to put their pride aside and settle their differences is ultimately what led to their untimely demise. And in this reality that Cole tries to paint in his song, the absolute opposite happens.
Not knowing most drama only leads to more killings. I'm hurt, I miss my dog, I ain't gotta hide. If I hurt you, I apologize. Cause tears fill in my eyes, your letter helped me understand the power in love, the choice to be the bigger man.
Death is the worst thing that could happen to any man, and how many men have died because of or over their pride and ego. At the end of the day, men should be able to admit their wrongs, talk things out, and be vulnerable with each other instead of letting pride and ego take the wheel. A perspective that rarely ever gets talked about in any instance, and I think Cole did so masterfully.